Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're going to be talking about the spell Stone Shape. Now, I was just reading through your review, and I think you like this one a little bit better than I do, which is unusual. I'm usually the one defending something. All right, well, go ahead. What does Stone Shape do?
Okay, 4th level slot, 1 action, touch, instantaneous, transmutation spell. You love all those words. You touch a stone, because that's how this wall of stone, right? You touch a stone object or a medium size or smaller in a 5-foot area, basically, and you make it into something else with that material. So you can make a large rock into a weapon, idol, coffer is what it suggests. But crucially, also, you can make it pass through a wall. And that's it. It has some other text that says the object you can create can have 2 hinges and a latch, but you can't really do much finer detailing than that. But for the most part, they just let you kind of go buck wild, take 5 feet of stone and rearrange it however you want to do something nifty with it. In a while, this seems similar to Fabricate. I actually think it's a little bit better than Fabricate because you are removing things as well as building things. You are transmuting things in an interesting fashion. I think this spell is super nifty. It also has the fun little thing that I love about it, where it has a material component that is soft clay that you have to work into the same shape as to whatever you're doing. So if you decide to make a giant great axe, you have to make a little clay great axe. If you decide to open a hole in the wall, you have to make a little tunnel out of the clay. I don't know. It's cutesy. I like that kind of crap. But overall, this is a moderately usable spell. That's floor is just pass wall, and that's pretty good. And the upsides of it also being a flexible utility tool that is akin to Fabricate, basically, in 5 feet or smaller areas, I'm here for.
What level is pass wall?
Pass wall, I think, is higher level. Let me go check.
I'm checking too. 5th level, 1 level higher.
And I think this is it's not always better. You might not always be going against stone structures, right?
Right.
At the same time, short of wooden structures and some weird plaster and stuff, I think this is
bricks.
Sure. Bricks are stone-ish. I don't know. I don't guess they're not stone.
No, they're not stone.
Sure. Listen, categorizing stone is something that I am not a professional in. It's why I tend to be very lenient as the DM whenever someone goes, "Can I melt into stone here?" And I'm like, sure. I don't know. I guess. Rocks-ish, bricks-ish, stone-ish. Sure, why not? That's stone enough to me. Which is why I'm probably wrong a lot of the time. Bob, as the native stone expert, having spent many hours late at night diaring about stone walls and what you would do with wall of stone if you were given unlimited time, I'm sure you're much more up to date.
I haven't studied stone, but I would say the same things about a wall of bricks that was permanent. But,
sure.
Anyways, no, bricks and not stone. What were we talking about?
We're talking about this being used as a pass wall.
Okay, pass wall, sure.
That's pretty good.
If the walls are stone. Yeah.
And oftentimes what this can also look like is you can excavate 5 feet of stone beneath a building and tunnel your way in. So if you're going against an inn and there's some rocky surfaces around it, you can just go, okay, great. This doesn't get into the wooden inn, but it gets us down and into the kitchen. And that's going to be good most of the time, right? You're going to often find there are some neat ways as an infiltration tool. It won't be every environment. Having a bunch of the other effects tacked onto it make it so that it's something that you're pretty comfortable preparing. It's a druid cleric spell, so this is something you can easily prepare if you think you're going to be in a stony environment and not if you're not. A little bit harder as wizard, but wizards have a gigantic spell book, so if you like this kind of effect, it's pretty easy to slap onto your character sheet. Artificers probably have no business taking the spell. It's way too high level for them. They're getting in the late tiers of play because they're half casters, so I wouldn't worry about that. But for the prepared casters, this is a pretty innocent effect that it's nice just to have access to for specific dungeoning environments. And whenever you're going into other dungeoning environments, whenever you're heading into the palaces in the skies, and whenever you're going into, exclusively the giant woodland mansion that's full of, immaculately made wooden banisters and stuff like that. Okay, sure, don't prepare it then. And I think that makes it, because it's so innocent and so it's easy to put on your sheet, and whenever you do put it on your sheet, when you know you're going to use it, it's quite good. I think it makes it quite a usable spell. I don't think it's game warping or anything, but compare it to something like Fabricate, where you have to basically do something mundane over a short period of time. This does it instantaneously. This just takes an action to make the effect. If you quick getaway, hole in the wall. Whenever you need a quick place to hide, little cubby hole that you all can just back into, right? You can do some nifty things with this because it's instantaneous that spells that otherwise produce things can't. being able to spontaneously be like, hey, barbarian, take a great sword is useful. It's more useful than having to take 10 minutes to make a great sword kind of deal, right?
It's a barbarian. You're at the level where you're casting 4th level spells.
Sure.
Who doesn't have a weapon at this point?
Disarming happens. Sometimes the group gets captured because the DM doesn't want to kill everybody, right? It's not going to happen often, right? I'm not saying any of these situations are going to be constant use cases, but I'm saying there are enough niche use cases that are very easily within, like, oh, even without me being at the table, even without me having access to this, I can see there being moments where I'd be happy to have it. And it having the floor of a stone pass wall, I think makes it quite accessible. I think this is a spell that you don't really have that much problem getting use out of whenever at minimum you make a hole. And making a hole can be pretty good. You can make, like, if there's a very narrow tunnel, you can make a 5-foot hole down and fill it with shit. Just put a bunch of caltrops in there, put a bunch of ball bearings on the far end, make it difficult to get across, and that's there forever now. This effect doesn't go away, so if you want to use 2 slots forward, make a 10-foot wide hole. If things don't have climb speeds or you have a lot of oil on hand, you can make a very difficult barricade. It probably isn't worth the 4th level slots you're spending on it, but it is something the spell can do on top of all the other flexible utility options it presents. And that's neat.
Yeah, it's neat. I don't know. I'm still not impressed. The biggest thing I could see using it for was, building, statues to decorate your house with or something.
Sure. It also just conveniently does that.
Yeah.
And you can do that only during long rests because the prepared casters get this. So you're like, okay, I'm just going to take Stone Shape as a flavor thing. And that as a minimum is like, sure, whatever. That's fine. The same with Fabricate, right? It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's fine. Have that on your sheets. No big deal. It's something you do in downtime and never think about it ever again. If that's what you want to use it for, a lot of players can probably get that use out of it. And I don't think that's necessary, but it's nice to have it. I do think this spell has a lot better text than that, though.
I guess, in combination with Wall of Stone, you can make your walls and you can even make doors now. That's
I literally on my sheet or on my notes I have in combination with Wall of Stone, because that's a nifty little interaction that you can do. You can make, this is the real way you can make full palaces out of Wall of Stone. You can turn those walls into more mutable surfaces. The walls are permanent, so you can use that stone to do whatever you please.
Yeah.
Which is nifty. Not particularly useful in 99% of games. Most of the time you'll be like, I did this in my downtime. Look at that castle back there. Anyway, off to adventure. But for the rest of the people that want to use the spell in kind of creative fashions, if you're in the market to get just a 5-foot wide door jam, this can do it. If you actually just want to make a door to close up a passageway, this can do that too. This can be a way that you can pretend to disguise. Oh no, there are people living here. Look at this. We've been here the whole time. We've been squatting in here and we have a door and everything. I can see there being funny moments with that. This seems to me to be a spell that has a deep enough use case. And while it's not particularly powerful use case across the board, there will be moments where you'll be happy to have it. It's probably not worth a 4th level spell slot. Wholeheartedly agree with that. The spell isn't powerful, but it's nifty. And I like nifty spells that aren't powerful. I think that's why I like it so much.
Make a koi pond.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. I guess we can go on and on about interior decorating, whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, we covered all the important stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think, again, I want to reiterate, I think the floor on this is quite good. I think the floor on this has a way to get through a wall. Getting through a wall without damaging it is useful. And this is a way to do that. You will leave evidence behind where pass wall doesn't. That's a big downside. It'll be clear that you broke into the thing a lot of the time if you're using this. But that is a good enough use case that I'm willing to say this is a 3 out of 5. I think there are enough instances where this will have a powerful enough effect. You're like, yeah, that was worth a 4th level slot. Only preparing in those instances is really easy. And every other time you're using it, it's just creative fluff fun. There are going to be a lot of characters that like Rock Gnome, Geomancers and stuff that are just going to adore this kind of garbage where you're just like, yeah, you best believe I'm spending all my 4th level, 5th level, 6th level, 7th level slots making cool crap out of stone on whenever we take long rests. But for the 99% of characters that aren't the Rock Gnome that loves making statues, this will be perfectly serviceable. Nothing outrageous though.
Yeah. All right. You got a score for it?
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree with that. 3 sounds good. That's nothing amazing, but yeah, you won me. I was gonna go 2, but you won me over with the Wall of Stone.
I knew I would.
You know my weakness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was what was it? Stone Shape. Everyone, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Sam. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it, a gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.